Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is May 15th, 2020 and we're back again for our profit recap and market insight session. If you guys haven't joined the session before, it's basically where we go over the trades we took for the week and then kind of get a bias for next week for certain pairs. Any questions I'll answer as I go along the stream, so just have them ready, send them in now if you want. Before we start, I want to do some admin stuff as always. So if you're on the Discord, which you should be, but if you want to join, it's actually free to join our community Discord. The link to sign up is in the description of the video. It's going to take maybe a minute to sign up, and there's a lot of content that's free on here, so you have all the incentive to join. Now, if you join, you'll be entered into the announcements channel, which keeps you up to date to what we're doing at the company. And we have two really cool things that are in the inception phase and ready to get people in it. And so those two things that we're ready to accept clients for is one, the Smart Effects Managed Program. And this is a program that's done by ours truly, Institute Trader, who is a institutional based trading mind genius. I mean, he knows the markets in and out, the way banks and major hedge funds trade. And we even have a MyFX book of his performance, and you can see it on our Discord, and you will see a actual track record of the trades he takes. So let's actually pull that up, and here you go. So the drawdown is just absolutely ridiculous on this program. I mean, 3.6 is virtually zero drawdown if you think about it, and excluding this first half of May, last month he had a gain around 7%, and this program aims for 6 to 10% gain per month. With very little drawdown, I think with the max drawdown of 5%. So that's really low risk. And since it's with ATC PAM program, you can actually adjust the risk as well as making it less risk seeking as well as more risk aversive. Whatever your preferences are, you have the full flexibility. And so we're accepting members for this. The minimum deposit is only 3K. So if you just want to test the waters, you can start off with 3K, then always add more. The second thing is the Trader Challenge. Now this challenge is free to participate in, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't do it anyways. All you have to do is be a member. That's the only qualification. After that, you are free to do the challenge. And basically, if you grow a demo account to a profit target a first time, you get a free lifetime membership with Forex Lens. Now, if you can grow a demo account a second time to a profit target, we will give you a live funded account. I think it will be around $25,000 for the first time, and it's real money that you'll be able to trade. So all you have to do is be a member, and then go ahead and grow a demo account either once or twice, and you can win the respective rewards. So there you have it. That's the two announcements I have to make. Again, be on the Discord. It's pretty much the place to be. I send trade setups from time to time in community discussions as well. So if you're always trying to see what we're about, this is the place to be. And it's very organized. We have different sections for Elliott wave analysis, Institute Trader, price action for me and Pixology. Then we have our signals channels down here, and then we have community discussions where we hang out, we chill, we share memes. You can see people laughing and stuff. So that's the place to be, and that's where you'll catch me after hours. So you can always ask me a question there. Anyways, going on to how this week went. For people on Discord already, make sure you send in your Sure. Can you please send in your pair recommendations and questions now, so I can get them as I go through this week's trades? Thank you very much. We already got a question from Marco. All right, so this week we'll talk about euro in a bit. So this week we started off with NZDUSD. I'm not gonna go over all the trades, but I'll quickly go over some of them. So NZDUSD, we had to sell. You can see the signal here. Now we got our first target, and our risk management strategy is such that after we get our first TP, we like to move our stops to entry and take half our profits off the table. It's just a nice way to secure what you have gained. And you can see after a nice 20, 23, 24 pip gain, we got stopped out at entry on our position. And then NZD USD chilled here for a bit, and then actually ended up dropping to our target after the Royal Bank of New Zealand kept interest rates the same. So that was a quick easy pips, and I'll talk about why it's okay to get 25-30 pips. You don't always have to get the big winners all the time. Sometimes the markets won't provide it. Now, we do show our losses in the live session. We aren't afraid to be transparent. So pound Aussie, we had a long idea from this candle right here, this 4-hour candle. Now this 4-hour candle, it looked good, but upon closer inspection, it didn't really fit the bill for our entry criteria. Nonetheless, the trade was entered. We did enter with a 50% reduced position because the stop loss was quite big. And so thankfully we did that because although it was a 90 pip stop loss with a half a lot, it was only a 45 pip loss. And so after entry we got stopped out right away, which was pretty much a fake out scenario. But if we paid attention to the 4-hour candle, we probably wouldn't have faked out, and we probably wouldn't have entered the trade to begin with. Moving on to this week, we're looking to go short since it made such a drastic move down, but none of our entry criteria has seemed to be verified just yet. So this would be a trade for next week. Now after this loss, we bounced back pretty damn well with a nice short for Aussie yen. Here you see the signal again. A nice entry, virtually zero drawdown, and a nice push down to our target zone. A nice 65, 60-ish pip gain depending on where you got in. And there you have it. Very simple trade setup just based off 4-hour resistance. We followed up with another trade for Euro CAD on that same day. Again, a nice short trade. Entry around here, and we had a nice sell-off for about 45 to 50 pips depending on your entry. And then we got pushed out at entry. Our partial position got stopped out at break even, and then this trade was not entered again, but it did go down a bit more, so that's nice to see. And then we had a few nice small winners that could have been big players, but US fundamentals kind of came in the way. One was sell Euro Yen, and so this thing went all the way down to 1115.344, so 40 pips, right? We hit TP1 with no problem, and we were looking for TP2. But before we even got there, the U.S. unemployment claims came out worse than expected, and so Euro USD jumped. And since Euro USD jumped, so did Euro Yen, and then our partial position got stopped at break even. It happens, but at least we got something out of this trade. A similar story for CHF Yen. As our correlates, again we got our first target, no problem, a nice 26 pip gain. We were looking for the next target, 109.431. But the unemployment claims came in and we got stopped out at break even. Again, we did an Instagram post about this. You got to treat Forex and trading like boxing. A lot of boxers like Floyd Mayweather, who's 50-0, made their living off the jab, right? Their defense and jab. When you do the jabs, you get those quick movements in the market. You reduce your risk exposure. They're high probable punches / setups, and that's when you want to take. When you go for hooks, you get yourself exposed, right? So when you try to get those big players, you get greedy. Yeah, when they hit, they work out well, but when they don't, you get hit just as hard, and the market will just hit you as hard. So this week was about getting jabs, and to be honest, we had 6 trades called, 5 were winners, 1 was a loss. I mean, you can't really complain about that, even though we didn't really reach our 300 pip target. 150 pips with pretty much solid success rate is great. So that was a recap. We kept the week nice and clean. Obviously, it was fundamentally driven, so that was just how the week went. We can't really control how the market moves. We just gotta be adaptive. Now I'm gonna go over some questions and pair recommendations, so send them in now. I'll probably let everyone here know. So I'll let Marco go over Marco's question first. Send in the other. Actually, I'll keep in the community discussions since it's a free session. Alright, and people on YouTube, I have not forgotten about you, for sure. I'll get to you guys as well. So, Marco says, Harpy first, can you please, that Euro Aussie idea, what you think for Monday? Alright, so here you go. So, Marco sent in some chart work for Euro Aussie, and this was on the 13th, Wednesday. So, he asked, and it was looking like a good idea. Let's give it a look. I did let Marco know that because of the USD fundamentals coming up terrible, that you may not have that play out. So let's see if he's on the 4-hour, and just trying to match it up. So I believe looking at the 15th. Euro Aussie and 1, 2. Oh, here we go. So here was the 13th. This was the idea, and I told him that it looks like a good idea, right? He has a good target zone. The only issue was the USD fundamentals that came out weak. And so that means the Aussie was strong, right? When the Aussie dollar is strong, usually Euro Aussie falls, right? So that's the thing that I was worrying about, right? And you can see, we spent some time under this kind of intraday resistance here at 1.67777. We finally broke it, but we came back down. I guess this was from yesterday's fundamentals, the unemployment claims, and this thing dipped down again. And then finally today, this thing rocketed, and that's actually pretty surprising, given that USD had some negative fundamentals. You can see here, core retail sales came out worse than expected by a huge margin. The forecast was negative 8.6%. This printed 17.2%. This is pretty much twice as worse, and this is a historic low for the U.S. for retail sales, by the way. So it's pretty damn bad. And then you can see even negative 16.4% versus a negative 12%. Again, very bad. So I'm surprised about this up move, but he said, what do you think for Monday? I mean, yeah, it looks like it could go long. I mean, if you look at the left, what has happened before, let me just remove this. When we break this level in particular, right here, 1.67784, that level right there, price has made huge rallies, right? And we've already started to do that. We've actually cleared this 4-hour resistance as well, so that's a good sign as well. You can see here. So this was the main resistance. This is the second 4-hour resistance, and we clearly broke that with a huge amount of significance. So the next level is probably going to be the support, 1.69200, and we're about 40 pips away. So I think we'll probably get there by the end of the day, if not on Sunday. And I don't trade Sundays, so on Monday we'll probably be looking for a break above this level, and then take a longs back to the upside and around these highs. So that was a good idea, Marco. It was just that if you entered at any of these breaks, you would have been at some drawdown just because of the USD fundamentals coming in the way they did. Just to give you an example, Euro Aussie, go to Aussie dollar. You see Aussie dollars melting completely, right? And this is weird because the US dollar just had terrible fundamental news. So in that regard, the Aussie should be rising, right? And so if you look on the 14th, it rose against poor fundamentals, but today it fell against poor fundamentals. So it's a bit mixed. I don't know why the mixed reaction occurred, but nonetheless, this is the reason why Euro Aussie is going so high, because Aussie dollar is slipping. So yeah, maybe you could have a long for Euro Aussie next week. I am looking to short pound Aussie, as that setup is still looking pretty good. Speaking of this morning, pound dollar, I sent this in community discussions. It looks like a really good short. So yesterday we were looking for shorts, but we just never got the entry we wanted. And we were waiting for this 1.21666 level to kind of break with a 4-hour bearish closure. And this candle right here was pretty nice, but since the morning it's kind of squeezed back up and it's turned into a bearish hammer. So we'll probably wait out on this, but I guess patience pay, right? So maybe next Monday we'll get a short idea. But if we just go to the daily, you'll see why our bias is short. If you tell any beginner trader, why would you go short here, or what would you do? This is a clear short example. We had a kind of a messy head and shoulders here, if you want to call it that. Your left shoulder, your right shoulder, your head, and then you had your neckline right here. A clear break. The daily is obviously very bearish. And last time around, when we broke these supports right here, we went all the way down to this low we made at the peak of COVID-19. So who's to say we can't do that again? This 4-hour closure was pretty substantial. That's why it ate into our profit region. But we had an overall target of going all the way down here. So that's fine. This is just the intraday scope. This is more of a long-term play for next week. So next week's going to look pretty good for pound shorts now that we've gotten all the supports broken. If you guys remember last Friday, we were waiting for a pound to break its supports, but this week we finally got that break with the dominant, so we should be good to take shorts next week. Aussie NZD. So yeah, this was another setup that we talked about yesterday. That's still pending. I thought we would have it, but if we could take a closer look. So during yesterday's session, Aussie NZD came up to this resistance, And basically, I plotted this for our supports. Let me just remove this call out. I'll remove this call out. You can see here 1.07430 4-hour bearish closure equal short. So here you go. This is the line I drew, and you can see over the past few hours, none of these candles closed below this level, and so we never had that short. But since then, this thing has jumped above. Now, the reason why this thing is going to the upside is because NZDUSD is going down, right? Look at NZDUSD. This thing is just melting. This is another potential setup we can talk about for next week. So a lot of the correlations are mixed up. I mean, for example, Aussie dollar might be going a bit too quick, but Aussie dollar is melting, right? If you look at Aussie NZD, it's rocketing. So the correlations are a bit mixed up. It's because of the news. That's why I usually don't trade news, and that's why I didn't enter EURUSD yesterday, even though I gave a potential setup for it, because you can never really know how the markets will react to even bearish news, right? So if it was bearish news, you should see Aussie gain on the dollar. You should see NZDUSD gain, but the opposite's happening. So that is that. Checking on YouTube. Hope everyone is well. I think some people asked a question there. Morning to everyone. Yep, good morning. Hope you guys are safe. Alright, so we have a pretty good question. RP, why did Euro go up? Do you think it will still go up? That's a good question. That was asked by Alex Marison. Let's go to EURUSD. So yesterday I gave people in the Discord this setup in the last session. I may have posted on TradingView, so I posted on TradingView. I'm gonna have to scroll up all the way, but we talked about this as a potential setup. Here we go. So EURUSD. Here are my views for USD. 9 p.m. closure is pretty important. We'll take a look at it. Make sure you follow us on TradingView. I tend to post ideas every day. So this is the idea, right? And so we pop to the update. You can see what has happened since then. So this was the 5 p.m. closure. This was our 9 p.m. closure. The 9 p.m. closure was a bearish doji kind of candle. And so for me, that was like, okay, I'm not going to enter. I had a pretty good week. We had a pretty good week. And we have news tomorrow that's major. I don't want to force it. So I didn't enter EURUSD. But you can see over the London session, it popped up, created an indecision candle. And then earlier this morning, it made a significant rally at 5 p.m. And then it really made a huge rally at 9 a.m. after the terrible, terrible results, right? So that's why EURUSD went up. It was basically a technical standpoint. You can see we have a huge support zone right here. Many wicks that went to this level, and none that closed below it, right? So that's why we had that bias. And during yesterday's session, we saw, I woke up to this candle come down here, this inverted hammer, but then a bullish candle come right up. This is a bullish engulfing candle. And then I told everyone during the session that because of this price action, that if we do clear this secondary support at 1.08000, that we could look for longs based on technicals, right? You can see support has been respected. Support has been respected again. We should see a launch up. And so that's what happened. We just never got that 9 p.m. 4-hour closure that I wanted to go long. But again, you can see the idea went almost to the pip to our target level up here, right? You can see if I just move this to the down, you can see this horizontal ray we drew. The wick literally went to the exact level. It's just crazy how accurate price action can be sometimes. So that's why EURUSD went up. Well, I think it will continue to go up. You can see the mixed reaction again. So initially we had a huge bullish reaction to the U.S. news, but since then we have completely did a 180. It's weird. Euro has been doing that all week, where it react one way to the news and react the opposite way. So I think it will continue to play this kind of game that's in. I mean, it's been stuck in this kind of zone, right? It's been just playing games in between the zone. This is definitely some news manipulation to jump up all the way up here, then jump back down. So I'd probably wait for Monday to get a good sense on Monday New York session. Today's probably a wash with the with it being Friday, but I'd say right now my bias is mixed for Euro just because it's so messed up on the price action level, and the daily, you can see the daily candles these days have been pretty messy as well with these long wicks in both directions. You can't really get a bias. In the past, we've had clean price action, right? We've either had significant moves to the downside or significant moves to the upside, downside, upside, downside, upside. Here we have a bunch of candles, a bunch of days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 days just jam-packed in with no separation. So you're just going to let the market do what it has to do and get a break on either end, and then you can find a more significant setup. Oh, we have so many years ago. I did 2 scenarios on Aussie Kiwi, nice, and expected a continued long, nice. So yeah, so some of our traders, Jake, he caught the long, that's awesome. Make sure you secure your profits. USD yen, Euro yen, USDCHF actually, and then Euro yen. Don't mind this chart. This is from our little intraday scalp. But again, it's a common theme. You can see the past price action, you can see has been pretty clean, but you can see it's kind of been squeezed in, and now it's just a bunch of nothing, just no separation between candles. I'd have to probably go to 4 hour to give you anything concrete, but 4 hour we've been pretty consolidated. I guess you can trade this intraday zone. We did have a rejection here, a pop up here, a rejection here, a pop up here, and we did have a minor sell off from this level. USDCHF. Man, that's pretty tough. It's tough to say. I'd probably wait. What was your bias for USDCHF? Catchets 2020. Hope I'm saying that right. What's your bias for USDCHF? Maybe I can put that sort of scope in, but this morning obviously it reacted pretty negatively to the USD news, and then it just jumped back up. So bit of a strange price action. I mean, let's pop to the weekly, see if we can get an understanding. You can see, if I even remove the drawing tools from drawings, you can see the weekly has been congested as well. So in the past, even though weekly candles have had nice separations, we either have an uptrend, a sell-off, some intraday consolidation, and then a trend resumes, sell-off, an uptrend, sell-off, uptrend, right? And then even before, at the end of the year, we had nice rallies, either to the downside, to the upside, and then we had these, since this pandemic has started, these past few weeks have just been squeezed in. Here we have a bullish candle, here we have a bearish candle, bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bearish, bullish. You can't really do much with this, right? It's all consolidated. This might be a scalper's dream, but even for an intraday trader like me, I mean, it's based on how little USDCHF moves. For example, this consolidation range we drew, right? If you measure this, it's only about 67 pips. Now that's not bad at all. But the problem is when you have moves like this, when you go halfway into the range, now you only have 30 pips to play with, and your stop loss has to be up here. You have a R2R of 1.0. It's not really worth taking. So the best thing to do is go to the 4 hour time frame when price is congested like this. Draw your 4 hour levels, because the weekly and daily are just going to be just as congested. Draw your 4 hour levels, so I'm going to draw it like this for the box, and then draw my secondary level right here, right? So you can see we have resistance here, solid resistance. We have some support here. Every time we come off resistance, we do hang around this level that we have right now, and then we have this bottom support here. So we already have this first move completed from this resistance down to here. Now we're either going to wait for a break of this support, take us back down here, and we look for a bullish reaction. That is a bullish, hammer like this is perfect to go up, or a bullish engulfing like this is also perfect to go up. And then you can take your longs, and then you can get your 67 pips easy that way with an R2R of probably 4.0, right? take a look at this. So we go at long right here. Let's say we get a bear bullish hammer. Take a profits here. Our stop loss is going to be just a tad bit below. And here I have a 4.28 R2R setup for USDCHF. So that's what probably I'd give you, right? I would never enter right after news, especially when you have a reaction one way and then a reaction another way. I'd probably wait for a more decisive, move to happen, and that's probably going to be Monday. But if this happens on Sunday, I mean, you can take it. I don't like trading Sundays, but Monday for sure, this could be on the table for an intraday level. Short mostly because of the daily. Awesome. Okay, so 2019 resistance. Okay, so there's 2019 resistance. Do you want to tell me the level that you had your resistance drawn at? I'm gonna have to go to the weekly to. I believe it should be these highs. Correct me if I'm wrong. So 2019, we made a high. 2020. There you go. 2019. Let me know which level. Because in 2019 we've made highs up here. I'm not sure, and we even made highs up here. So I'm not sure which high. I'm on the monthly, by the way. But let me know the level, and then I can get back to you. Apparently gold is going crazy. We'll give it an outlook. I'm pretty sure it is going crazy. Euro yen, a trade we took this week that we're currently out of. Euro yen long. I'd probably go long. So I'm gonna remove the short idea since we're done with it. I'm gonna remove the signal as well. Remove this. So I go long. You can see we've popped above the support zone we drew before. Obviously, this 4-hour candle isn't the most bullish. We would love for it to close a bit more bullish than this, but based on that assumption, this thing should make its way back up to these highs right here. Right, something like this, 2.17. The only problem is the reason why this isn't rocketing up is because Euro USD is going down, and therefore Euro Yen has to go down. So that correlation is tight. It's like twin brothers. So we're just gonna have to wait for price action to calm down today, Sunday to do its whatever it needs to do, and then Monday during New York session, another free live session. We'll give it another look. But based off this, it's probably gonna be a long. The previous 4-hour candle was a bullish hammer, a very long wick. It tells me the momentum is there to launch up, and the target, if we do get there, would be around 116.600. U.S. oil, okay, U.S. oil, and we have a veteran group at Forex Lines in our trading room. We have a veteran group. I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about in terms of maturity and just patience as traders. And this thing has tested our patience all week, right? And so if you look, we were looking to short this thing based on the daily time frame. So if we head to the daily, where in the daily time frame, this is what our thought process was. U.S. oil came up here and it's consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of consolidation at this resistance. And so we're going to wait for a break of 1-hour support to take the short. You can see our alert is still there. So these 8 days of consolidation, we finally got a breakout, and we run into this final resistance at 28.70. You can see this was the high we made back in April. After the pandemic happened, this is when we made that previous swing high before all hell broke loose and this thing hit negative prices. So this was an important level, the last swing high before this thing touched negative prices. We're currently trying to break above it. Now, last week I told you guys that I'm open to taking longs and shorts for U.S. oil. I have no horse in the race, right? But the short was a more probable setup. But the negative U.S. Fundamentals, this right here, has helped this thing go up, right? This thing is probably, and I don't want to make promises, but probably going to make its way back up to these highs, right? If it stays bullish the way it is, it should make its way back up to 32.50 or 33.40. In between these two levels is probably a good bet. You can see we had some activity here, and that's where price will be magnetized and pulled towards. So I'm going to move this potential short idea. It's going to stay that way on this. It does make its way back down. I'm going to delete the alert, and now we're going to be looking for long setup. So U.S. oil, right now we have a nice 4-hour bullish hammer in the making. If this stays the way it is and we get confirmation on Monday, we will enter long. US oil is a pretty easy commodity to analyze. I think we have like a 90% success rate on it just because it's so simple to trade. So obviously this could be a long-term play here. I'm not promising this, but this thing can be very volatile. You know, we've seen daily candles do this move before. I mean, this daily candle, if you really want to measure it, is over over 1,000 pips, right? So it can move 1,000 pips in a day. So you know, this might look like a swing trade, but if the volatility is there, we could get it in a day or even two. So that being said, our stop loss will be in between the previous range between here and here, and we have a 2.95 R2R setup. It's not an entry right now, so please don't enter. But I'm saying on Monday, if we have a 4-hour bearish closure, and 4-hour bullish closure, we'll go ahead and enter, and I'll send the signal on Discord. But I'm looking for bulls and buys for US oil next week. Gold. So since gold and US oil are correlated, obviously gold is gonna rocket. And we had poor USD news, right? So, ooh, this is perfect, perfect. So we discussed this yesterday. If you want to watch, you can watch yesterday's session. Where did it go? So negative USD news. You can see what is gold. It's gold versus the US dollar. If you have negative USD news, what does gold usually do? Gold just jumps up, right? Now, if you guys recall, yesterday we gave a potential short idea for gold. Right, we wanted price to come up here to this resistance and get a nice rejection. You can see, you know, price wicked here, but no bearish candle went up to actually reject it and touch it again. And then what was even worse was price printed a hammer, and you never short on hammers ever, right? So price went up, and my goodness, this is a really good entry for long. Like this one was right here, a nice bullish hammer. This is another good entry, a bullish hammer, and it's already at 1748 area. So this was probably one of the levels we were talking about yesterday, 1748. The next one is 1800. This is the target we had for 2020, that 1800 level right up here for gold. We may reach it. Again, this number is the worst number the US has printed in history. That's pretty damn bad, and these guys want to open up the economy. It's not looking good because you know, a lot of health officials are saying a second wave will happen if we do this, and who knows, that might be the thing that'll take gold all the way up, right, all the way to the upside. So again, gold, we'll be looking for longs. We do have 1750 as a resistance. If you guys remember last time in April when COVID-19 was at its peak, we tried to go as high as 1750. We tapped it and we sold off. We haven't touched it since. So this will be an area where gold will be having its troubles. But if we get a break above on the 4-hour time frame, we are Gucci. Looking at the weekly time frame, you can see the momentum, and gold has been on an uptrend. You know, it has its minor retraces, but nonetheless, on a weekly standpoint, this is still a valid uptrend. And this daily candle is huge. So all the momentum is with gold to hit 1800, and that was our 2020 goal. So fantastic. USDCHF by resistance, I mean 0.975 level that's been used as support resistance on the weekly. Okay, got you. All right, let me take that, give that a look. I don't want to neglect people on YouTube either. Someone has pound NZD, and someone asked for New Zealand USD. Alright, so that was a good question. What's your take on BTC? Would love to get you on our stream soon. Nice, deep crypto markets. Awesome, I'll give it a look. So I'll quickly go over pound NZD. Let me just give a USDCHF look based on the recommendation by chats. Resistance at 0.975. Okay, let's see, 0.975. Okay, so it's this line right here. I got you. So we originally drew that anyways. This line right here on the weekly. And so that's where you're thinking short. Makes sense. Yep, so that's exactly the line we drew. on the 4-hour time frame, the 0.975 line. This is the part of our consolidation box. Perfect, I understand. It was a short. We went pretty decent into the range. But since then it's popped back above, but I completely get you. So nice. Pound NZD. Wow. Let me just check. Let me just check if we have a setup for this. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Last time we had a potential setup, it did not get activated. So let me remove this. So pound NZD, I'm looking for buys. This is just simple trading ranges, right? You can see we just get this box out again. This is the overall range for pound NZD, and you can see these lines right here. They all represent 4-hour supports, and with this 4-hour support, we've spent 1, 2, 3, 4 days on, right? 4 days of just staying on support. We have not been able to break it. The price jumped back above. And as you can see, this time around, price has even printed a 4-hour or a daily bullish candle, right? A bullish hammer off this nether line, this support / resistance zone, right? You can see a lot of wicks have accumulated here from the top as well as the bottom. And so based on this closure, I would love to go along back to the upside to a potential target of 2.07 7,000, right? Now if I remove the box, you can see that there are some levels before we reach there, and in particular these highs right here, right? You can see at 2.06126 would probably be a place where price could stall, and so currently we're trying our best to break above this for support. Just showing this line 2.04660, right? You can draw in the 4-hour time frame, on the daily time frame. These wicks have accumulated here. And if we do get a break above, which we're trying to right now, we should go along. And then this is the setup we'll have in its all totality. So look at this. Something like this, 2.44 R2R setup. But we need that daily break today to go back up. And the 4-hour closure on Monday, and then we're set to take the long. And to be honest, the stop loss could actually be a bit better for being like that. So 3.56, and this is the total trade in its entirety, but target 1 will definitely be these highs right here. Now the 4-hour, again, the 4-hour is the candle we're watching for. It needs to break above this blue line, and that's what it's going to take to go up. So I'll put an alert. Actually, I'll put a call out and send the chart on Discord. And the reason why this is happening is because NZDUSD is just melting out of the sky. Alright, so we need to break 2.04700. For our bullish closure, we'll go long. Right. Now we're going to take a look at NZDUSD. Let me save this. Alright, now NZDUSD, let's get a clean look at this. I mean, my goodness. Melting. And actually we have a nice clean chart we don't need to. So NZDUSD, now I'm going to remove some of these raises or take profit levels from a past trade. So I'm just going to remove it like that. Alright, so NZDUSD, you can see where we're coming to. We're on the 4-hour time frame. You can see on the 4-hour time frame, just looking to the left, right? Very simple. At this level, 0.59250. We've had a bounce from here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, right? All from the same 4-hour level. Now, if you look at the past 2 attempts, so this attempt and this attempt, what you can notice is price has wicked below, but never closed below, right? Price has wicked below deep before, but never closed below. So that's why we never had a short. But this time around, look at the momentum. Look at this daily, look at this 4-hour candle is just huge. And the daily candle will be just as big. It's very, very bearish. It is trying to close below. And based off that concept and what has happened in the past when we've had these big bearish candles close below, we've had significant sell-offs all the way down to here, right? just looking at an example here, a huge bearish candle, we go all the way down to these lows that we had during the peak of the pandemic. So based on that, we could have at least the bare minimum a move down to here, from here all the way down to here, right? Now, if the NZDUSD wants to reward us, it can go down here. This was at the start of the pandemic. These lows right here at March, and then the peak was all the way at the end of March, which could be down here, right? Now, because we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and we want to get the intraday set up first, we'll probably target from here all the way down to here. And if today was a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, or even a Monday, I would enter this trade right now in a heartbeat. But it's a Friday, and we usually don't enter trades on Friday, especially this late. So we'll have to be patient, but this thing could be there on the table on Monday, right? Hopefully, price action stays this way and doesn't get spoiled for the rest of the day or Sunday. But if this stays the way it is, I'm happy to take a short, and our stop loss will be in between this range, right, the support, and this support. So if we do pop up above, most likely we'll probably go back to the upside and we'll cut the bleeding short. So a nice 2.5 for our 2-hour setup. But I'm confident that if we do get confirmation on Monday, our stop loss could even be tighter and it'd be a 4.0 R2R. So a nice solid setup based on just simple price action that we've used in the past for NZD. And if you guys remember, at the peak of the pandemic, we had multiple swings for NZDUSD. I believe we had one in March. If you look at March was our best month. We had a swing from here, and then we had a swing from here as well. So we're just using the same concepts and try to get that same risk to reward each time. That's probably what's going to be on the table for next week for the majors, because Euro is very conflicted. I'd rather focus on these trades. Next up, any other questions? BTC, thank you for that question, Salman. BTC, someone asked. Alright, so we did all of this. Alright, BTC, let's give it a look. We are approaching an hour, so we'll give BTC a look, and then I'll give off the coupon code for the trading room so you guys could join these sessions. And so here you go. Oh my god, this is beautiful price action. Again, BTC is so amazing. Anyways, so BTC, if you guys remember, I'm keeping this red circle here because it's a reference point, but we've had successful shorts from BTC just from this trend line, right? We drew this trend line connecting the all-time high at around 20K, back in 2017, to the 13K in 2019, and then all these other attempts right here. And so we popped off this bottom trend line. This bottom trend line starts from 2016. We have connection in 2017. We used that support in 2018, and then once again in 2020. So when we bounced, I said we can go here. It's a retracement zone because it's a 61.8 fib level, right? We do the Fibonacci. 61.8 fib level is right here. So if we do have a retracement to go short, it would be here. If we don't get a retracement, price will probably make its way back up to this trend line, right? That's going to be a place where it'll either look to reject and go short or whatever it wants to do. So you can see it came up here, rejected, but then the negative USD news came out. And again, this is BTC versus the US dollar. So BTC has given some of its has earned some of its gains back. Currently, it's at 9,400, just under the 9,500 level. Now, if you look at the 4-hour, you'll see something magical happen. When BTC rejected that trend line the first time, it came to our retracement zone, used that support once, twice, 3 times, and popped right back up. And now it's presenting a really good short. This is actually, if I was holding onto BTC or I just bought it, I'd be a bit nervous because you can see we've created a classic double top pattern. Price is kind of curling over, it's pouring over, it's like a roller coaster. This is where you go up, and now it's kind of teetering over. I do think it will probably come down back to 8,500 next week. So just be on the lookout for that. Again, it's still respecting this trend line. You can see it happen on a small time frame as well as a long time frame. So again, short. Overall, I was bearish for BTC and crypto for 2020. And so there's a short hiatus, but we're only at quarter two. We have a lot of time to go, and COVID-19 really changed the whole landscape of everything. So I'm thinking short for BTC. That's my opinion. 8,500 is probably my target for next week, or however long it takes to get there. Alright, so I think I covered everyone's questions. Let me do one quick final check. And perfect. So everyone's great. So I'm going to give the 50% coupon code. Now what this code will enable you to do is get access to these live sessions. So these live sessions are free on Monday and Friday. Monday is a general session where we try to get a bias for the week. Friday is where we do what we did today, go over the trades we took, and then get a rough idea for next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I call the trades and do the actual analysis for entries. And those are the most important sessions. So if you're trying to get in on those sessions, plus get full access to our Discord and full access to all of our signal providers, all you have to do is use coupon code FIRST50, right? All capital letters. Oh, let me make this bigger. Use FIRST50. When you go to our website, you go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started, and then fill out this form. Click Next. You'll see Add a Coupon Code. If you use this code, you'll get all the live sessions, all signals, and full access to the Discord for $48.50. That is a steal. I'm pretty sure spending that much on Amazon Prime weekly, so give it a chance. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy the service. And that is that. So again, quick recap of the announcements. The Traders Challenge, it's free to do. All you have to be is a member. Take advantage. You can win a free lifetime membership or a live funded 25K account. And the Smart Effects Man program. If you're tired of trading, you don't have time to trade, and you want someone to manage it for you, get Institute Trader to do it. You'll get it with very little low risk and get you around 6 to 10% a month. So email support@forexlens.com if you're interested in either program, and they'll help you out. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you guys are safe, and go out, get some fresh air. Just make sure you're social distancing, and we'll see you guys Monday for another live session. Okay, I'm Mark Forex. Peace and have a great day.